First things first, I want you to check out this janky lighting, but it is making it look awesome. We're in the garage with it. Check this out, yo. Bam. We got the straight floodlight with the extension cord, and we're in the garage. Now, I know we're not at the park. My apologies. The past couple of these have been at the park, but it's been super rainy at my house. Extremely cold park bench, extremely wet. Can't really go there and like sit down and be comfortable. But as soon as the park bench is dry, you know your boy's gonna be back there. All right, so the reason I'm pretty much making this video is just once again thanks to everybody that showed love to the last video I posted having to do with the drugs that I've done. That video's like at 150K and climbing. I've gotten a shitload of DMs, messages, all that kind of stuff. A lot of people are resonating with that video, which is good. It's letting other people know that, yo, you're not alone. There's been other people in these situations, no matter how less or more for each person they are. So thank you if you showed love to that video. And now I guess, like I said, I wanted to do kind of like just like a different kind of series thing. So I don't know if this is episode 2 or what, but in today's video, I'm gonna explain the first time that I ever got arrested. Now, please understand, again, just like the other video, nothing that I say in here is me glorifying any of my actions. If anything, I want you guys to take away, and hopefully I can present it in a way that you can take away that you're not supposed to do the things that I'm talking about, that it's not cool to do the things that I'm talking about, because basically a lot of you guys, like I said in the last video, are gonna find out that I did some scumbaggish things in my life, and it's like kind of got my heart racing, like letting everybody out there know that. But like I said, there's people that are in these positions that don't know how to get out of these positions, and if I can be an example that you guys can do that, and I'm not even the greatest example, it's not even like I'm the richest dude ever or doing all this crazy, you know, like, but I did do a lot of stupid things. I did do a lot of drugs. I did act a fool for the majority of my youth and beginning adult years, and I've been able to change my life and change the decisions that I make to not be that kind of person, and it's worked out fairly well. I know everybody's stories are different. Some people watching this first experience getting arrested could have been 10 times crazier than this, so please, like, again, this is just my personal experience. Some people have suggested or said that they would like to hear about these kind of stories, so in no way, shape, or form am I bragging in any, just that's not happening. Everybody's experiences are different. To some people, this experience might be the craziest thing ever. To some people, this might just be a walk in the park. So that's not what it's about. It has nothing to do with that. It's just me simply sharing my personal experience about the first time that I got arrested, whether how crazy or not crazy that is. As always, you guys can check me out on the gram at Leroy Destroy. That's my personal. Go check it out, see the kind of fits we're putting together. You know, we got the mustard with the maroon with the mustard on the bottom, always staying fitted. You guys can see the kind of pictures I'm posting, what I'm posting on my story, and what I'm doing YouTube aside. So let's jump right into it. All right, the first time I ever got arrested was at school, but I did get detained and I did get taken to the local county. I didn't go to county jail, just the little local police department cells or whatever, but I did get arrested. I was in the 10th grade. I believe that I was 15 years old. I could have been 14 going on 15. I was 15 years old. This was probably right after I turned 15. So at school, I was always causing a ruckus. I was never going to class. I was getting terrible grades. It was just school, especially in 10th grade. That's when I really started like wilding out. Yeah, it led me into some So basically, in physical education, it was probably my second period, one of the first periods of the day. I got, for some reason, I just had like that connection with the teacher. You know how you like have certain connections with, you know, certain teachers in high school, even college, whatever, where you're like on the same page. Anyway, the PE teacher really with me for whatever reason. I guess I was athletic and like, you know, I kind of like led the way in running and basketball and like all that kind of stuff. So he like began to build some trust with me, so on and so forth. To make a long story short, we would get dressed for PE and we would all go out to the blacktop, and then he would do roll call on the blacktop. Now, when we were on the blacktop, then we would decide what kind of game we were gonna play that day. Volleyball, softball, basketball, whatever it may be. Like, we would vote or whatever, and then we'd find out what game we were gonna play that day. And every day he would toss me his keys and say, yo, Kelly, go back into my office and get the bucket of volleyballs, basketballs, or whatever the game was. So for a while, he would just like it was like almost like an everyday thing. He was giving me his key ring to the locker room with nobody else in the locker room, where everybody gets changed, everybody's stuff's at. He gives me that key, I get the balls, I lock it back up and bring it out to him. So obviously around this time, I don't know what I was doing, smoking weed, definitely, you know, drinking, probably at this point like starting to take some kind of opiates or pills, ecstasy. There was definitely things that I needed money for at that age with no job that I did not have the money for. So after a couple times of doing this, I realized that I was in a room with like 60 to 70 people's things, some locked, some not, and then basically it turned into me and my homie locker checking every time we got the keys and we're able to go back into the locker room. One of us would be a lookout. Sometimes we would just double hit it, no lookout, just like as fast as we could. We would run up to every locker and check every locker. Some of them had locks on them, some of them didn't. The ones that didn't have locks, we'd run through the backpack real quick. There'd be an iPod, a phone, whatever it was, whatever was valuable that we could sell back on campus or sell to the pawn shop and make money, that's what we were grabbing. So this was 10th grade. This was, well, I don't even know, maybe 2009 or something like that, somewhere around then. Dude, there was probably 2 people at my entire school that owned an iPhone. iPhone was not a thing, and the dude who had the iPhone, it was crazy. Everybody asked him if they could use it, if they could text on it. Like, that was at this time. iPods were extremely huge. That was like the thing. iPod, maybe even iPod touches. Yeah, definitely iPod touches. That was what was hot at the time. Oh, dude, this sounds terrible, but I remember multiple times, if you guys remember, like, there'll be those kids that are like selling cookies for like whatever class that they were in. Like, I don't know, sometimes people would have like bags of candy and stuff that they were selling, obviously with cash, like from selling that stuff. Like, we would unzip the top of a backpack and there'd just be like 60 bucks in cash, boom, straight into the pocket. And we did this, I don't know, over a short period of time. Now, we probably couldn't have done this more than like 3 times, because think about it, the kids come back into the locker room, they get into their backpacks, whether it's the next period or right at that second, and they realize that they're gone, right? Like, their iPod's gone, their money's gone, their cell phone's gone, whatever had any value is gone, right? So it only takes so many times of somebody coming up to the teacher and saying, hey, I had all this stuff in my backpack before class, and now after class, everything is missing out of my backpack. So I would say we maybe hit it 3 times total. I don't know, maybe 4 times total. This is back in the day. That's sick that I even counted that. That does not matter at all. But basically, finally, one day, my teacher, I really can't remember his name, and if I did, I wouldn't say it, but anyway, he called me into his office and he was like, yo, Kelly, look, basically a lot of people have been telling me that there's a lot of stuff missing, and I'm trying to think of, you know, who comes in the locker room or who's in the locker room by themselves, and I ask you to get the balls for me all the time. And like, he kind of jammed me up, but then of course I was like, oh no, I have no idea what you're talking about. Like, definitely not me. I probably even said I had something stolen of my own. I completely denied it, and yeah, that whole denial process probably took, I don't know, maybe 4 hours. Obviously the teacher knew that it was me and the dude that I was running with that was doing it, right? So like I said, PE was 1st or 2nd period. All I remember that day at lunch, I was chilling at the same spot that I chilled at in this little hallway, and then I get 2 like little security guards that go around high school in their golf carts. They pull up on me all sick. They're like, yo, Houston, Houston, get on the back, you're going to the office. And I was just like, yo, I think I'm cooked, bro, because I was tripping about it all day, you know. And they got me, but I don't know where my homeboy was. He wasn't with me, but I was thinking on the way there, I'm cooked, they know what's good. I honestly think I did have money in my pocket, 100%, that I had stolen that morning. So right when I pull up to the office, they put me in this little waiting chair like before you see the principal, and luckily they stuck me right next to a big old fax machine, or the printer, like the big ones that they keep at the school, right? As soon as I sit down, I take everything from my pockets and I slide it underneath, like low-key. The lady in her desk is like up there kind of paying attention to me, kind of not, and I put the money under there, and whatever else was in my pockets I just stuck under this fat ass fax machine. So of course they got me and my homeboy. We both ended up in the principal's office, right? They kept us separate, obviously, and basically like they just tried to do the cop thing that cops always do, like, yo, so just tell us the deal, and like, you know, like, we know it was you, and like, you won't get into as much trouble. And like, I'm keeping it 100. I was like, yo, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I was just maintaining my innocence at the time. I was 15 years old. I was like, yo, I didn't do this, I don't know what you're talking about, yada yada whoop-de-whoop. And then of course they have my homie in the other room and they're grilling him too. And then they finally get to the point where they tell both of us separately, yo, your homeboy already flipped on you. Like, I have your homeboy in the other room and he told me the jig, like, he flipped on you, so you might as well just admit it, right? Like, you might as well just admit it. And then I was like, I still don't know what you're talking about. Like, didn't participate in any of these activities that you're accusing me of doing so. But it ended up, I guess, homeboy flipped. I don't know, because they got us. The cops came in after that, and like, obviously somebody said something that gave them confirmation that we sure indeed, over the past X amount of times, broke into the locker room and stole a bunch of kid shit. Now it's kind of hard because at this point in my life I wouldn't steal something, so it's hard for me to say like, oh, I should have just like said, yeah, it was me, and like did the right thing. Like, at the time, obviously I'm gonna say it's not me, you know. Like, at this point in time in my life, I would never be in a situation like that because there would be nothing I would steal. But anyway, the cops came in and they just cuffed me. Oh dude, I still remember that, dude. It was so crazy. It was passing period and the cop cars like always parked like in the front of the school, and she straight had me in the cuffs, and a bunch of kids during passing period straight saw me in handcuffs getting into the patrol car. She took me right down the street to Chino Hills PD. Nothing major at all. They stuck me in a little holding cell. Obviously I was 15 years old. They called my mom, they told me what the deal was, but they did end up writing me like 5 tickets. I think I got burglary, breaking and entering into school, like school property, like when you get on school, like the laws change, you know, like, and then I for sure got destruction of school property. I don't know, they like laid me out. They gave me like 6 tickets, yada yada whoop-de-whoop, and that was the first time that I actually like got arrested for doing something bad. I went to the police station and I had to stay there for like 8 hours. They took like my blood test, and then my parents came and picked me up, and my parents were absolutely livid. It was my mom and my dad, and me and my dad's like relationship at that time was like strained from all the dumb shit I was doing, so I knew it was just on and cracking with my pop. Oh my gosh, dude, that fool was so heated. I remember I got home and he made me sit downstairs on the couch, and then he went up in my room and just destroyed my room, like ripped through everything. Like, that fool had never gone through my ever, and he found like just crazy shit. I was doing pills at the time for sure, because I had went to my grandma's house and I had stolen a script of something from my grandma, and it still had her name on the script, and it was in my nightstand drawer. So my dad started flipping, ripping through everything. He found like some regular over-the-counter sleeping pills, but he thought they were like some crazy like drug, and he was like all in my grill like, yo motherfucker, like, you want to sniff this? Like, and I'll break all these down right now. If you want to do drugs, you could sniff all these right now, like, you little punk bitch. Like, punking me out, going crazy. That fool was so pissed because he pretty much, like, I don't know, ran through my room and found out that I was just wilding, doing drugs, all kinds of weird shit, stealing other kids' shit. Like, it was just all bad, dude. I ended up going to court for that. I did not go to juvie for that. When I did end up going to juvie, it was like related to this case, because I ended up just getting probation for this case. I got suspended from school for a month, and then I had to go to a board meeting for like expulsion. They luckily luckily let me back in school after like a 4-week suspension, and then I was just on crazy probation. You guys don't even want to know, dude. As a minor, I was 15 years old, like, you know, gonna be 16 years old, and I think I was on 2-year probation, and my curfew was 8 p.m. every single day. So if I was mobbing around in the whip any day of the week and a cop pulled me over and asked for my name as a minor, in the system, I'm on probation, 8 o'clock curfew. If it's 9 o'clock, then they're taking me straight to juvie. Like, it was crazy. A lot of homies, if you guys are watching this from back in the day, you guys know everybody had to drop me off at 8 o'clock every single night, dude, for like 2 years straight in the prime of my high school. Obviously, I was sneaking out. Obviously, you know, I was out later than 8 o'clock probably 50% of the time, but like when my dad was around and he was making sure it was straight every day, 8 o'clock, dude. I remember being with all the homies. They were all getting ready for the night, getting booze, bottles, yada yada, whoop-de-whoop, so on and so forth. And then they just drive to my crib, drop me off, and then they'd go to the party and like just rage all night, dude. So that kind of sucked. That was definitely the worst part that came of that. But the time I did go to juvenile hall is a totally different story, and it's super crazy and funny at the same time. This one really wasn't that funny. I feel like a dirtbag saying all this stuff. The story on actually how I went to juvie is extremely funny. So if you guys would like to see that video, then make sure you guys let me know in the comments down below. Drop a like on the video, and I think maybe that'll be the next video, how I went to juvie for the first time. So of course, like at the time after I got expelled and all that whoop-de-whoop, like I had to write letters to all my teachers and write letters to all the kids, and like I'm pretty sure there's some kids that I didn't apologize to, but you know, I tried to make it right the best that I could at the time. So I feel like done as much as I could to make amends for that. That was really like my first, you know, experience like with law enforcement at like a level like that, and seriously like getting in some deep shit as a minor. That was many years ago, dude. That was when I was 15. I'm about to be 27 years old. That was over 12 years ago. So if I'm gonna say anything, don't steal stuff out of the locker room at school, and you guys should not steal things, period, because there's been way too many experiences of me stealing things and things exactly like this happening. Even as I was adult, getting tickets, going to jail for stealing things. It's just not the way to go about getting the things that you want. What I've learned is that the things that you need in life come as you do good. Trying to force things early, trying to steal shit from people and rob from people to get what you want is only gonna turn around and bite you in the ass, whether it be 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year later. It really doesn't matter how long later. If you're doing things like that to get money, robbing, stealing, being a thief, it's only gonna come full circle, and it's gonna bite you in the ass. The homie Wes always says, if a man is right, his world will be right. And honestly, I feel like that's the best thing to go by. If there's things that you want in life, you're gonna have to put in the footwork to get them. I'm not saying that because I've done all of those things and I'm at where I'm at. I am practicing what I'm preaching. I'm understanding that if I want to get somewhere, I have to put in the necessary steps. I have to put in the footwork to get to those things. Taking shortcuts, cheating, lying, manipulating, robbing to get to a destination that you think that you want to go to faster it's just never works out. It never has, never will. Hasn't worked out for me, and it hasn't worked out for the others that I've spent time with that have chose to do those things. So I guess that would be my message out of this video. Kind of hard. 12 years ago I was a kid, but you know, obviously gotta let you guys know, the youngins out there watching, that quick money, maybe it might seem like a good thing to do at that second, but if you're a youngin pinched in a situation, the long term is always how you should look at it, because I'm gonna explain over this series, if God willing it keeps going, how taking shortcuts, manipulating and lying to try to get to the things that you want only fucks you over tenfold in the long run. Hopefully you guys are going to be able to see that as I continue sharing these stories. So again, nothing too funny about this video. I know it didn't have any jokes in it, but hey, some people suggested that I make the video and I feel like that's a good place to start, because now, like I said, I can lead into maybe some juvenile hall stories, how I got there, what it was like when I was there, and then just keep going from there. So I don't know if you guys enjoyed the video or like these kind kind of videos, these sit downs. This is kind of like the second, third one that I've done. If you guys like it, show some love down below. Just let me know. Keep going, make more, do more, or drop a like on the video. That's the best way that I can tell that you guys want me to keep pushing, and I appreciate everybody that's supporting the idea of me including some of my past and you know, admitting my wrongs, but being able to show you guys that if you guys are in a position like that or know somebody that is, there's a way to get out of it. There's a way to live, you know, what you would call on the straight and narrow, but still keep it gangster and you know, still have fun with your life and do the things you want to do. And yeah, that's what I hope you guys can take away from it. And before I end this video, I do want to shout out my youngins, you know, in the Supreme game, just the people who I've met. I've met a lot of younger cats, a lot of cats that are 15 right now and younger, 14, 15, 16, 17, that are killing the game, doing crazy stuff online, reselling hella Supreme and shoes and all that. All my little homies out there, that's why I always tell you guys, I'm proud of you guys, and you guys are doing 50 million times more than what I was doing at your age. So, you know, if you guys are handling your business at a young age like that, then much love and much props to you guys, because there's a lot of grown men that ain't even out there making actions and doing things like that. So shout out to all my youngins, man. But that's it for the video. Sorry for the janky garage, sorry for the janky lighting, but I thought I'd rather have that and put the video out than not put it out. You guys enjoyed, make sure you guys show some love. Make sure you check me out on the gram at Leroy Destroy. Try to get those pictures up, those stories up. You guys can see what's cracking, YouTube aside. And yeah, that's it for this one. We have a clothing video tomorrow. Like I said, I'm just gonna plug them in between. So if you guys are ready for that, then mucho lovo. I will catch you guys on the flip side. Sleepy, I am out of here. Reese's Pieces, later skater, deuces. We'll catch y'all on the flip side. Peace.